5 years later, I'm back at this little cow corral on Joe May Road. That's looking down Joe May Road to the west. Those lights that you see out there that's Creech Air Force Base. There's a little town called Indian Springs over there as well. Creech used to be called Indian Springs. Let me show you. On my first hike, I went south up over those ridge lines. That was the wrong direction. That is Joe May Canyon. If you go up that canyon right there, you'll find the mine and Wild Horse Pass. These rocky foothills, I guess you would call them, they parallel Alamo Road, which is off that way, heading north for quite a ways. On the other side of these rocky foothills, I think where Robbins Rock is, and that's where I'm trying to find. That's up, going about another, I don't know, 1/10 of a mile is the end of Joe May Road. They actually have it roped off. So we're basically right at the end of Joe May Road. That canyon is called Black Gate, probably because the rocks are black for some reason. But you can actually head up that canyon. On my first hike, I came back to that coming from the south. That's another canyon. That's looking basically due east. And that, I do not know if you can get up on the top of the Sheep Range, but that is the top of the Sheep Range up there. And they head that way north. That's where Sheep Peak would be. But anyway, right now I'm trying to find the canyon that Silver Hills and Warlike Wrath pointed to as having the rock in it. So I'll head that way. That's that's Joe May Road. That's looking east. This no vehicle sign is on the north side of Joe May. That's Joe May Canyon going up to the mine right there. These are the rocky foothills that also head up north to Picture Canyon. This no vehicle sign is at what used to be the start of the old Jeep trail that headed off and went up. You see it in a lot of videos from hikers. There's an old trail, it looks like a Jeep trail, that heads up that canyon, Joe May Canyon. This used to go up and dead end at the mine up near Wild Horse Pass. When they made it the DNR, or the DNWR, they made that road off limits to vehicles. But the road is still there. You can actually walk up it. It's just kind of overgrown. I'm trying to find Robbins Rock, which I think is on the west side of these rocky foothills. So I have to go around. Kenny would have came back this way. He would have headed this way going south, because his truck would have been parked on this road. We're going to reverse it and take what we believe is really Robbins Path, head north, and look for the canyon that has his rock in it. Those, where'd they go? That's Mount Charleston over there. The sun's coming up, so I can't see Creech Air Force Base lights, but they're, I think it's right there, out on the flat. I'll try to show the restricted military border over there. It's right on the left side, the west side of Alamo Road as you head north. But for reference, that's Mount Charleston. This is kind of covered in clouds today. This is going to be harder than it looks to find really Robbins rock. This all looks different on the ground, obviously, but I'm not sure is that his standalone rock anomaly, or is it that, or is it these? I'm trying to match up the skyline. Is that the flat top? I'm just not sure if I've gone far enough north to be opposite. The Guzzler, Joe May Guzzler, is right on the other side of Robbins Rock, we believe. I'm not sure if that flat top right there is far enough north to have the Guzzler on the other side of it. But there are many canyons. There's one, or gullies, ravines that lead up to that ridge, but they're very steep and rocky. And I haven't passed anything that matches the skyline that I think yet. So we'll keep heading north. Kenny, he completely underestimated this terrain on his loop hike. This is not flat desert at all. These are serious hills up and down. Unless he went way out there. That's a long way out of the way. We're looking back now at Mount Charleston. We've gone farther north. There's a cloud bank under it. I'm going to guess that is the rock anomaly standalone. Once I get around a couple more of these ridges, it might look more separated than the others. I'll watch the ridge line as well. I think we have found it. I think that's the flat top right there, and I think that's the pointed peak off to the left of it. I think right on the other side of that flat top is Joe May Guzzler. Joe May Canyon is paralleling us, heading north on the other side of these rocky cliffs. I'm almost positive that is going to be the correct canyon. Once I get over there, I still have several of these ups and downs to go to get there, but that shape looks very convincing. That's west. Again, that's Mount Charleston for reference. We're further north now, looking to the southwest. So we're going to continue. We're going to say that's our canyon, Robbins Canyon, and head toward it. Try to find the entrance where he was standing next to that skull. Here's the terrain. Kenny would have came south, heading straight at us. But this is not flat desert by any means, unless he went out there, which would have taken him miles out of his way. But making these up and downs after the Picture Canyon hike would be brutal. Maybe he did it. Alright, that's the gully we just came up. On the other side of that rock right there is that cave looking hole. It wasn't very deep. I looked in it as I went under it. So we just came up from down there up this way. We're up on top of this little ridge, and now we see another canyon down below us. That's looking north. That canyon now right there heading east is what I believe is really Robbins' cabin or canyon. You can't see it, but on the other side of that ridge, about directly on the other side of the highest point right there, is that flat top. So I believe that this canyon, once I get down to it, is going to loop around to the north and start climbing quite steep cliffs. So there's another little, I guess you'd call it a cave. There's a hole. We are going to follow this little gully up, and from the top of there we're going to see what I believe is the flat top way up there, up on that ridgeline. I will keep looking for the rock that had the skull sitting on it. That's looking west again. I'm in this canyon. I'm going to go a little farther, but this is not turning the way I want it to turn. So I might have to backtrack. There is the ridge line. It's not matching. This canyon is actually angling a little bit south. I want to go north, but I can't go up over this side to the north. But there are a lot of these cave looking things on the side of these cliffs. It would take half a day to climb up to these though. That one actually looks, somewhat deep, or it looks like it could be deep, but it's a long way up, and this cliff is, that cliff is almost vertical. There's another littler one right there. There's also some to the side of it. So it's just impossible to check all of this stuff. That's the ridge line up there where you gotta search for that rock. There's more cave openings right there. Alright, I'm going to have to backtrack out of this canyon because this is not looking like Robbins Canyon at all, and it's not heading the direction we want. But I did find more and bigger caves up on that ridge line, and there's one that's obviously shaped like an M. But I'm out here looking for a rock, so I'm not going to go up there. That would take a couple hours to get up to that on that slope. There's more cave opening. They're all over in this canyon. So who knows what's up in those things. But to get up on that ridge line and search that all those openings would be a whole day. So I'm going to backtrack out of here and head further north. This is what the terrain is looking like. Steep cliffs on both sides of these